Today we are talking about a pedal that for the longest time was probably one of the best kept secrets in the guitar industry, but these days it's gone from being a cult classic to an outright icon. It was on the pedal boards of every well-known session guitarist out of Nashville. We're talking about Tom Bukovac, Guthrie Trapp, Tim Pierce, to name but a few. And hey, if it's good enough for those legends, then it's definitely a pedal that I want to check out. I'm going to include a load of timestamps down in the description, so if you don't want to hear me give a short lecture about pedal history, then feel free to skip forward to the bits that are going to interest you. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I post weekly content every Tuesday about all things guitar related. So if that's the kind of thing that you're into, then do consider following along. Anyway, enough talking. Let's get on with the video and run a little B-roll sequence that I shot of me doing an unboxing, because it was fun. Well, for one thing, they've packaged it well, so can't really hold that against them, but I will get into this. Now, the original version of the Nobels ODR was the ODR-1. That is the infamous pedal that you would have found on the pedal boards of those session greats that I mentioned at the start of this video. And since then, the ODR-1 was discontinued, making that pedal therefore really hard to find and really expensive due to its rarity. But in recent years, Nobels have reintroduced the ODR, making the original ODR-1 and the ODR-Mini, which is the pedal that we'll be going through in this video. Now, a really common misconception with the Nobels ODR is its resemblance to the Tubescreamer in terms of its tone and circuitry. These days it's almost impossible to see a green overdrive pedal and not think of the Tubescreamer, so you can be forgiven for drawing that conclusion. But in terms of its circuitry and tone, the Tubescreamer and the ODR are very, very far apart. This argument was settled once and for all when everyone's favourite pedal guru Brian Wampler did a video on his channel where he took the ODR and a Tubescreamer, analysed their frequency response, and you can clearly see that the frequencies for both pedals do differ pretty wildly. The Tubescreamer is obviously very mid-focused, but the ODR has a much flatter frequency response, with a lot more emphasis in the high end and the low mids. Now, all of these things make the ODR a really, really great overdrive pedal, and something that is a bit different from the more mainstream options that you would see on the market. Think your Tubescreamers, your Klon Centaur clones, or your Blues Breakers, for example. It's this flat frequency response that has made the Nobels such a popular choice among session guitarists. If you think about what the role of a session guitarist is, it's often to play different styles of music, and you want to have real clarity and definition in your tone just to make sure that the parts that you play are going to be really well represented in your recordings. These pro session guitarists obviously invest a lot of money in their equipment, whether that's their guitar or their amplifiers. So having a pedal that doesn't colour that tone and keeps the frequency response fairly flat is going to be really crucial for them. So you might be asking yourself, what's the difference between the ODR-1 and the ODR-Mini? Well, aside from the fact that the ODR-Mini is slightly more compact in its form factor, in terms of the circuitry and the tone, they are going to be very much the same. So let's hear the Nobels ODR-Mini in isolation. I'm going to play through my Fender Blues Junior set clean, just so all the overdrive is coming from the pedal, and I'll be switching between my Fender Telecaster and my Fender Strat, just for a bit of variation in tone, and I will catch you all on the other side to give you some final thoughts. So to summarise, I absolutely love this pedal. I think for the price, which is around £69 here in the UK, I don't think you can go far wrong. And even if you're just looking for an overdrive pedal that is slightly different than the more mainstream options that would be the Tubescreamer, the Klon and the Bluesbreaker, then having this as an extra flavour and an extra sort of string to your bow is going to be really useful. So I hope you found this demo helpful. If you are in the market for a Nobels, I definitely recommend it, and let me know if you enjoy this type of video, because I would love to do more gear demos on the channel if it is something that you guys are interested in. So that's it from me today, guys. Just a quick look at the Nobels ODR-Mini. All the information will be down in the description below, and I will see you all next Tuesday for another video.